Welcome back, everybody, to the Quantum Guide Show. Today, I am pleased to bring on a brand new guest, Megan Murphy. Megan Murphy is a clairvoyant channel, crafter of plant medicines, and enthusiastic supporter of self-empowered care, sustainable agriculture, and meaningfully partnering with others to create systems that support all living organisms. She has brought forth an inner garden holistic wellness framework to empower individuals to care for their gut microbiomes and unique constitutions. Megan and her family live in central Illinois in her family centennial farm. All of the links are featured below, and I want to thank you in advance for liking, commenting, subscribing, and please do share my content with your friends. I'm very happy to invite you to also take out a membership to both my YouTube and or Rumble channels, and then you can receive my perks and you can help to support my channel. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Megan, and then we'll just quickly check with the live chat. Hi, Megan. How you doing?
Great. Thanks, Karen. Delighted to be here.
Oh, I'm very happy to have you on the show. So I think gut biome is extremely important. I think we have as many cells in our gut that are individual life forms more than we have cells in our whole body. Would that be true, Megan?
Yeah, I mean, there's different statistics on the billions of bacteria, fungi, different viral, different types of cells. We're more bacteria than we are our own genetic cells. So we're learning more and more about what our composition actually is as science continues to evolve.
Maybe we could just go back a bit and you could tell us how you got started in all of this. Are you multi-generational restorative farmers, or, how did that all come about? How did you discover your paranormal talents? And what sort of led us up to you being on the show today?
Yeah, I grew up in Central Illinois and spent just over a decade working in Alaska as an environmental scientist and have a degree and master's in biological oceanography. And I moved back to our farm here in Illinois when I had my second child. I was eager to be closer to family. And I'm let's see, like the fifth generation to live on this farm, but my mom's generation did not do any farming. And I feel like in the last 50 years, there's been so many changes to agriculture with industrial agriculture that it's really transformed the way we are relating to Mother Earth. So I feel like I'm the first generation to approach agriculture in a different way again. Some of it's indigenous or just more sustainable things that have been done a long time ago, but um, also new ideas with perennial agriculture and alley cropping and just different ways of diversifying what we grow in tandem. And after I moved back here, I to Illinois, I was just overwhelmed as a mom. I think is ultimately I I had a spiritual crisis of just feeling like I don't know how to best spend my time. I'm not liking the person I'm being all the time as a mom. I don't feel like I'm showing up as my best self. And so I challenged myself to meditate for 5 minutes a day for 30 days about 6 years, 7 years ago. And it was I had a fairly traumatic entry to learning about my clairaudience. I was hearing
Mhm.
lots of guidance that some of it was really tantalizing and exciting, and some of it was like my worst nightmare, fear
Mhm.
stuff. And so, I mean, long story short, I quickly was able to get into a class that helped me realize that it wasn't I wasn't a victim. This was actually a gift, and I learned how to safely use it. I mean, some of the healings that I've had after that time helped me also understand that that was a karmic clearing of past lives, uh, of not being able to deal with the gift in different lives,
Mm-hmm.
or being shunned or, killed for having those types of gifts and sharing them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, most likely burned at the stake. Yeah.
yeah, so now I see it as, a superpower that I'm so excited to support others in, because we are all born with intuitive gifts, and
Mm-hmm.
we just live in a time that does not celebrate nor support us in discovering and using them. So I know that that's part of my role, and to bring that forward, to be an example of how one can do that, but also with the resources I'm creating to make the intangible realms more tangible and
Mm-hmm.
approachable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a big surprise when I always I'd go to family with my own paranormal experiences, and all I ever got was, no, don't talk about that. People are going to think you're crazy. Or I would go to church and talk about it, and they'd say, oh, don't talk about it. It's demons. That's the
Yeah.
devil. You're leading yourself wide open to wicked forces. And so, I stuffed it for a long time because I mean, nobody wants to, at least not in my reality, nobody wants to consciously do a dance with the devil or become insane. I don't want any of those. And then the other aspect is our intergenerational or multi-generational dysfunction, having to overcome that. Because I think a lot of that dysfunction was actually perpetrated upon us to prevent us from
Oh,
exploring our gifts
I agree
and to
wholeheartedly.
hide all that. Now,
Yeah.
tied into all of that, let's go back to farming a bit, because a lot of people don't have any idea where
Mhm.
food comes from. Some people know where food comes from, but they don't realize what has happened in the last 100 years to change farming completely. So, for instance, um, I've seen enough animal cruelty videos to know that the way they're treating chickens and livestock and stuff is horrible. I can't even imagine what those poor beasts go through. I spent actually in my own healing journey, I actually spent quite a long time as a vegan and then as a raw vegan, but my digestive system couldn't handle it. And I guess we'll get into that further on in the discussion. But a lot of people don't realize that the way farming is done today is not how farming is done. And even
Mhm.
in my grandparents' day, they were still, using plows to plow rows and sow seeds and stuff. But from what I understand, the garden is, well, first of all, let's just say this: the crops or the garden is an ecosystem. And it not only supports bugs and tiny creatures and worms, it grows the plants, it grows weeds, which I found out later were medicinal, uh, um, what are given to us for medicinal aids, right? And then there's all small animals and serpents, amphibians, and the whole thing, besides the crop, is an ecosystem with communication that goes up and down and all around. And then there's the whole mycelium network. And now we're finding out that gardens are actually quite complementary and not competitive, where we will see plants feeding other species of plants even to help them out. I don't know. I'm not saying it probably correctly, but for our audience that's not really familiar about the truth about what is a garden or what is a farm,
Mhm.
Megan, please tell us as much as you want to about all that, because it's so critically important. And I think a lot of us are missing the boat in that area.
Yeah, I think what you were talking about, an ecosystem, that's ultimately, we know from lots of biological studies, like the more diverse a system is, the healthier it is, the more resilient it is. And that is one of the biggest detriments that we've caused to our agricultural ecosystems, is that a lot of them are done in monocropping, or just, very few crops.
Yep.
And that monocropping system and the way in which the farming is conducted, typically, where it does a lot of tears up the soil frequently, it doesn't it doesn't allow that microbial ecosystem as well to thrive. And then on top of that, so many agricultural inputs of chemicals that are actually toxic to the soils and all the life that the soils support. It's just compounding a problem of minimizing the health of the ecosystem. So, I mean, that's the short story, is that we're taking away the thriving and resilience of our ecosystems by minimally planting the same thing over and over again, or a few things, and the way in which we tend the soil, or treat the soil, and then on top of that, the chemicals we use to minimize weeds and kill pests and things like that. So what we want are diverse ecosystems, and the soil is what supports everything to grow on top of it. And that's what it's like, there has been appreciation and growing understanding of the role that these microbial systems are playing in the soils. And that's the connection that the Inner Garden book makes, that our gut microbiome is the soil of our being. So that is the foundation of the health of everything that grows from there. If you want to have flourishing in any way, if you want to have a diverse and resilient ecosystem, you have to have thriving soil and microbial networks and webs to support and sustain it.
That's my understanding too. The other thing is, and I may not have this 100% correct, but this is the way I understand it, is when we eat so-called foods that are full of herbicides, pesticides, or even chemicals to prolong shelf life, when we eat those things, we're now tampering with our gut microbiome that breaks foods down and absorbs what we need from it. So, for instance, I know people, they go, well, I eat healthy all week and lots of vegetables, and I think I'm doing fine. But on the weekend, we really like Friday night going to McDonald's. And then sometimes on Sunday, we like to go out for this, that, and the other. And in my opinion, I think one of the biggest challenges that I face, and that includes for my spirituality, is keeping my gut clean enough that I can absorb the nutrients. And so it takes tremendous commitment, I think, to not just to the body, but to even our societies and cultures, that we need to be able to digest our food. And so what's happening is people who are, doing real good during the week, and then on the weekend, yahoo, and whatever, then they go back to eating healthy. But guess what? The gut is sick, and it takes weeks for it to repair itself and to get going again. But by then you're in another weekend and you're eating more McDonald's. So I'm not trying to poo-poo on fast food, but I personally wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because of the setback. And I'm tired. I know how to fail. I know how to have setbacks. I've had many, many, many in my lifetime, but I don't want to do that anymore. I want to keep going forward and seeing what happens, and seeing as I get healthier and as I can digest better, and see how that all goes for me. But what's your opinion, Megan, when it comes to people who basically eat healthy during the week and then they binge on the weekend? Do you see that as a problem, or is that just me being too fussy?
No, I think even I mean, it's bigger than weekly diet. It's just by existing on the planet at this time, even if you were to eat a completely organic whole foods diet,
Mhm.
we are living on a planet that has pollution, and we are exposed to the same air, same water systems, you know, I mean, it's one world. We are in one,
Mhm.
and so we are all exposed. And I mean, there's things like bioaccumulation of toxins and fats, and so things
Mhm.
like cheeses and butters and eating different high fat fish, or I mean, there's been studies that have been looking at the toxins in polar bears, you know, and people living in Arctic areas where they're not even exposed to all the same direct pollution you would think, but because of the way that um, air travels and the exposure to the animals that have high accumulation of fats, they're getting the same toxins. It's like
Mhm.
that's one layer. I mean, then if you are even eating vegetables, if you're not eating organic vegetables, you're exposed to those pesticides and chemicals. And then there is so much processed foods that even things that might the way in which wheat's grown has really changed, for example, over the past few
Yeah.
decades. And so this is all compounding so that we are ultimately having under functioning gut microbiomes. They're not able to
Mhm.
do what they are wired to do. And we're not able to gather or assimilate the micronutrients that could be available from these foods. So, and then on top of that, we have pharmaceutical toxins that are given to
Mm.
us at very young ages, which further compound our gut microbiome's ability to repair, maintain, and heal our bodies. So we have so many layers. It's just amazing to me how resilient we are and still be
Yeah.
able to function because we really have so many things that our bodies are dealing with. And
Mhm.
as far as your question specifically about eating certain things during the week and then, you know, treating yourself on the weekend, um, I mean, eating in a balanced way, and this is what the Inner Garden framework gets into because it's based on Ayurveda, which is Indian
Yes.
holistic wellness framework that acknowledges that we're spiritual beings having energy, having physical lives,
Mhm.
and the importance of not only eating foods that support your constitution, your very specific constitution, but also the importance of emotional digestion. And there's different
Mm.
layers to our health, and when we're not able to release and experience and feel our feelings, we hold those things in our body, and those can express themselves in physical problems at some point if we don't deal with them or release that energy at some point. So we are complex beings, and just like addressing the food alone is important, but that's just one part of the puzzle and taking care of your
Mhm.
whole body.
Mhm. Mhm. No, I agree. I've had a lot of health problems in my life. I'm not going to get into that because it would be boring. But one thing I've had to do many things, and I've had spiritual guidance. That's about all I can call it, leading me to constantly try new things and to stop doing certain things. So,
Uh-huh.
it's taken me, wow, long time to sort out my diet, and my diet may not be the same as yours, but it's the one that works for me.
Yeah.
And and I used to be a big carbohydrate binger. Oh my God, nothing makes me feel better like my eyes roll up in my head like I'm on a drug. So that was really, really hard for me to step away from. And I think it would be a good idea if I just quickly mention that we're not giving medical advice on this show. We're talking from what we know in our own experiences, and I think that's a kind of important because, we're not supposed to be giving medical advice. And after saying that, I also have to tell you that I had to step away from pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals were messing up my gut big time. I didn't even know until the last year or so that you could actually have pain-free digestion. I didn't even know that was
Mm,
possible. I'm just going to say quick hi to John P. Adventures. Hi, John. Nice of you to stop in. He's sending lots of love to you, Megan, and lots of love to me. He's a real sweet guy, and he's got his own channel too. So I just wanted to acknowledge him. So, there's that. So, for me, getting off pharmaceuticals was huge, and that took a number of years as well. And then, of course, now I'm a pariah when it comes to the mainstream medical industry. If there's anything I want help with, I go to the doctor. As soon as they realize I'm not going to take their pills, they get kind of upset with me. But um, so it wasn't just like alcohol. Like, I'm sure there are people out there who can do those things and still live to be 85, 90 years old. I'm just not one of those people. I don't tolerate alcohol very well at all. Just doesn't work for me. I had to give up a lot of grains, actually all grains. I've even have trouble with eggs and dairy. I'm not trying to make this all about poor me and I can't eat anything. I have plenty to eat, believe me. But I'm just saying that it's taken tremendous commitment over years of
yeah.
practice, like a spiritual practice, to feed myself properly. But I kind of do believe, and I know this is kind of out there, but I do believe that if I give my body everything it needs, so my body's running at the proper pH, my gut biome's thriving, if I do all of these things, then I truly believe my body can heal itself
Yeah, I
and isn't
agree.
going to get into the kind of trouble that I could have if I was ingesting all those things. I don't know. I've kind of rambled on a bit here, Megan, but please feel
Yeah.
free to add or take away anything you want. And tell us about your book, and the link is in the description below. So please do tell everybody. And before we run out of time, we still got lots of time, but I also want to hear all about, you've got some cards also available. So why don't you just tell us all about your book and how that came to be and where people can find it and what it'll do for people.
Yeah, I want to respond first to something that you were just talking about with your own, ultimately following your heart's guidance, sounds like, with your own spiritual journey of learning what foods are best for you and what weren't. And that's one of the cool things. I mean, this is articulated in the book as well, but when we can acknowledge our body and its inherent wisdom and practice heart centered living, being able to actually listen, quiet our mind, and hear our heart's guidance, and give our body permission to speak up too with its wisdom, we are led to the foods that best support our well being. So, and every individual has a unique constitution. So, everyone has specific things that work for them, and that is an ongoing journey because I'm sure there's different chapters of our lives where different types of foods might support what we're doing in our lives, but your constitution never changes. That is part of who you are when you are born. And when you take the time and the intention to learn about that, which the Innergarden framework can help you do, then you are so far ahead of discerning what's best for you, what's best to eat in moderation, and what's very best for you to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, this is based on Ayurveda, but it's communicated in what I think is a much more straightforward way and reinforces our connection to Mother Earth, reinforcing we are a microcosm of Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the constitutions that I have 32 different boxes you could be put into that are most closely related to your constitution and gives you a head start to look at the foods that are best for you.
Mhm.
These constitutions are written in biomes like desert, prairie, savanna, woods, rainforest. So it's reinforcing a feeling of an environment instead of saying
Mhm.
you're hot, cold, dry, damp kind of thing. And then
Mhm.
there's different flowers and trees within these environments that get you even closer to what your unique constitution is. And not only does this give you food guidance, but it helps you understand different other physical and emotional and spiritual care practices that would best support you and enables you to have a better idea of the chakra that is most associated with your highest purpose. And when you
Mhm.
learn more about what your purpose is and what your gifts are that you alone can share, then you're more able to intentionally share them and share them in a way that brings you joy. So it's just like an all encompassing, and it does take so much intention to
Mhm.
step outside of the collective stream and the cultural and societal influences and media and all of it. Like it takes so much intention to uproot yourself and choose a different stream to walk in and to choose
Mhm.
yourself, to choose your well-being and to really tune in with what do you need to be well. It's courageous. It's just I'm and I'm so excited to support people in having the courage to make that choice. And
Mhm.
that is what the Inner Garden book and card deck, they dance together. It supports the guideposts in navigating this courageous journey of learning how to quiet your mind, learning how to tap into your heart's guidance and listen to your heart, and learning about your specific needs so that you can ultimately learn about yourself, take care of yourself, and share your gifts in the best way.
Mhm. Do you have a copy of your book you could hold up for us?
Yeah, it's right here. Here is the book.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is. It's like was a most phenomenal co-creative collaboration with Brianna Lee as the artist. She did all of the artwork. Every chapter has begins with one of her original art paintings,
Beautiful.
and all of the cards have her artwork. They're just gorgeous, and they
Mhm.
um,
Very nice. Yeah.
yeah, they
Beautiful.
it was so cool. Just the experience of creating this book is a whole story in of itself because it was not a linear project where we knew what we were doing from the get-go and had a plan. It was both of
Mhm.
us. Well, first of all, me reaching out to her and being like, not even sure if I could openly share, like, I'm clairaudient, I'm doing this with my guides. Like, are you interested? And I knew her. We had both lived in Homer, Alaska. So it wasn't a completely cold email or cold call kind of
Mhm.
thing. But anyway, she was open to that. But both of us, this was a process of continually trusting in the unknown and taking steps into the unknown and letting it unfold.
Wow.
And it was so inspiring to have her share her paintings with me as I was sharing draft parts of the chapters as they were coming forward,
Mhm.
because it just validated so much to me that this was real. Like, this is important to share. Like, um,
Mhm.
it was not me in my own head, which was typically, as I work with my guides, I typically am doing that while I'm heart centered and using a computer to write with them. And
Mhm.
having her engagement was really important for me to trust that what I'm doing is should be coming forward and
Mhm.
that I'm not
Mhm.
crazy, that this is important stuff to share.
Oh, it is. It is. And the thing is that I think truth and wisdom is all around us. but we
Mhm.
present it differently depending on our own experiences. There's somebody out there who needs to hear it exactly the way you've presented it. Do you want to tell us how many chapters are in your book? And do you want to just give us a very brief overview of what of each of those chapters is going to offer people?
Yeah. So there are 12 chapters and they follow the months of the year. So it's January through December.
Nice.
And it's an invitation to reconnect with Mother Earth's own seasons. And there are then 12 chakra card descriptions at the end as well, so that it's
Mm-hmm.
again, it offers an opportunity. There's exercises, meditations, journal prompts at the end of every of the 12 chapters. And that invites more self-reflection and further like doing the work of figuring out what foods you want to focus on or what your intuitive gifts are,
Mm-hmm.
what angels and guides are on your team. Like it's just so cool. So by the end of December, you're putting all of these things together, so you really have a great idea of who's on your team, like what your gifts are, how to best support yourself. Um, but every chapter has layers. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I feel like we as humans, we're like onions, like Shrek says, ogres are like onions. Well, humans are like onions. We have so many layers to unwrap and discover these parts of ourselves. And this book provides the scaffolding, it provides the guideposts to pull back those layers one at a time. Look at your limiting beliefs, um, investigate what your gifts are, where are areas in your life or people that you'd like to forgive. It pulls back all of these parts of ourselves and invites us to ultimately fall in love with ourselves. So every chapter is a high level focus and gives additional resources to dive deeper if it's a topic that you particularly resonate with.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, January focuses on your constitution and the energetics of food, how to navigate what foods are best for your body. And then February goes into what auras are and how they relate with the chakras and how they relate to the gut microbiome, communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And then it keeps building. Let's see, March goes further into like the divinity of the body and the body's inherent wisdom and how to invite more of your intuitive gifts into listening. I mean, and what's foundational to all of this is that grounding and centering practice, that ability to quiet your mind and invite your higher self into your heart and to listen to your heart. That's
Mm-hmm.
reinforced throughout the book because that, if nothing else, to get that practice established or enhanced, that's one of, I think, the best gifts that this book offers is just that support and stepping out of the stream so that you're stepping into your stream that's best for you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of grounding and centering. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an experiential journey, this book. And
Sounds
each
like it.
chapter
Sounds like
offers a
it's
door.
also, I think it sounds also a bit like the hero's journey, or I guess heroine's journey, depending on how you want to look at it. When you're stepping into these other realms, to have some gentle guidance, I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much compassion. I mean, in writing this book, it's like I was allowed to write parts of it after I had experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of test driven this helped me bring my mind along because I was led through it intuitively and had a lot of guidance from my team of guides on these different aspects. But then when I was able to actually write these different parts of the book, it helped me have a textbook to read so that my mind could wrap its head around it. It's just, we
Mm-hmm.
need both. We need both head and heart to come along with this experience. And again, that's why I think this is so helpful, is that giving the tangibleness, giving the tangible guidance parts to what is so hard to trust. I mean, the gift that my traumatic entry into this gave me was that I needed to have a really refined practice of discernment and building trust, because
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of scientific background, and my science brain still needs to understand, like, what the heck and why, and it wants to understand. So this book gives us charts on the agricultural and pharmaceutical toxins that we're most likely exposed to, and then the specific foods that can help our bodies release that energetic imprinting.
Mm-hmm.
That helps my mind come along when I have words and comparisons, and I know which chakra is most impacted by those toxins. So again, it's this bringing both head and heart through, and whatever topic you're particularly interested in, it gives resources for you to learn more about. It's like a high level weaving together of a big picture that helps me understand how all these things relate and connect,
Mm-hmm.
and presents it in a way that is digestible.
Yeah, it's got to be digestible. Otherwise, people are not going to do it for sure.
Yeah.
I know people are tired of me saying you got to eat better and you got to get enough sleep and you got to go for walks and you got to connect with nature. And they're kind of going, oh, we don't want to do all that.
Yeah,
It sounds
you
so
have to want
hard.
it for yourself. Yeah.
But when you want it, yeah, how it was for me is when I got sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Yeah.
then I was motivated. So I
Yeah.
want to talk to you about how your work ties into the divine feminine, but I want to play a very quick 1 minute promotion. I'm having a sale on a product on my website, and I just want to do a very quick 1 minute promotion, and then we'll come back and we'll pick it up where we left off, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay, so here we go. We'll be right back. Are you looking for the perfect, unique seasonal gift? Check out Zendome's Orgonite. They are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are affordable, ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. They are only available through my website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. These beautiful devices are simple compounds which balance ambient energy by converting negative energy and EMF into positive healing energy with many easily confirmed health benefits. They help diminish the harmful effects of negative energies and EMF by attracting and converting them, retuning them into new and more healthful sound and light wave patterns. They also produce orgone energy, which is also known as chi, prana, zero point, and life force. And you can use these devices for focusing the mind, healing, meditation, and for spiritual growth. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are only available through my website. Don't be fooled by imitations. Check out my website to see my latest selection at KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton Healthcoach.com. Check them out today. And we're back. Yeah, so I'm having a sale, 40% off. Those, by the way, the prices are in Canadian, which is worth only like 73% of American, but I'm having a 40% off sale. I got to pay the bills somehow, and also I love making those products available. So here we're back again. I would like to talk about, because I'm feeling like the world we're living in is, I know people are tired of hearing about patriarchy this and patriarchy that, but we live in such an unbalanced reality that we've been told, like from the left brain or masculine side, this is how it is and this is how it has to be. And people have been literally locked up for believing in different spiritual realities that are not left brained, all kinds of things. So I know I know that we're bringing in a time of the divine feminine. And when I hear you talk about your book, that is what keeps coming up for me, that this is such a beautiful way to introduce people to the divine feminine. And I'm wondering if you have any thoughts about that, Megan.
Yeah, I just was I have a page with a chart that speaks specifically to this to really articulate what the role of the divine masculine is, what the role of the divine feminine is, and how we need both of these to be in balance. You know, this is a time where we're bringing the divine feminine up to, to be equal, to be in coherence with the divine masculine, because we each have both, and we need to celebrate the gifts that the divine feminine affords us and learn how to weave them together, and not only on the self level, but that I think when we do it on the self level, it will reflect in our culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I see the divine feminine as celebrating our intuitive gifts. The masculine is much more about the structure, the physical form. I mean, that's the taking
Yes.
care of the body. And when we weave these things together, then we listen to our body's wisdom to take care of ourselves. I mean, all of this book is supporting learning about yourself so that you can balance your own well-being. And that is celebrating both divine masculine and divine feminine, and learning how to use your gifts and expressing them. So, I mean, I think of expression as divine masculine, but I think of what you're expressing and allowing your heart to speak as the divine feminine. So, ideally, they're always being woven together.
I would agree with you. I think we need both and balance and harmony. And another way to look at it that helped me to see it was those images of the spiral within blocks. And the blocks represent the Fibonacci sequence, and they provide the form that within that form is the spiral
Yeah.
unfolding. And they absolutely need to work together. But I feel like we've been very much pushed over to the whole logic side. You know, we're
Oh,
supposed to
yeah.
believe in science. I think science maybe is well, I'm not sure. I was going to say science has become the new God and religion, but I don't know. Maybe money always has been, not sure. But yeah, it has to be in harmony. So that's what I keep picking up intuitively. Every time you start talking about your book, I'm feeling a spiral of this divine feminine coming out into the world, which is just, I think, so very, very helpful. Do
Yeah.
you want to show? Do you want to show? Actually, what I want to do is I want to give you a few minutes now to talk about any part of your book, or your cards, or what you do that I haven't really asked you questions about that you feel was important for you to share during this program for my audience.
Sure. Thanks. I would mention about the cards. I mean, here's an example of their size and their
Oh,
imagery.
beautiful.
They all have a consistent front cover image like the book. But there are 6 distinct sets of 12 cards. So it's a 72 card deck, but there's chakra cards, there's ascension guidepost cards, there's plant medicine cards, there's highest purpose cards that help you learn what your highest purpose is. Um, and there's monthly blessing cards that are also associated with the blessings shared in the book. So if you're new to divination cards, there are instructions and exercises in.
You froze up on me, Megan. Just give you a minute, see if it clears. If it doesn't clear, Megan, can you leave and come back in? And that should fix it. But right now you're completely frozen on my screen. Oh dear, technology. Yeah, I don't know if I'm frozen for you, but you're frozen for me. So if you can, Megan, can you log out or exit at the bottom? There's a red square. Exit and then come back in. That'd be awesome. Yeah, you're right, JP. John P. Adventure says we need more feminine, more positiveness. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, John. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate you and enjoy your videos on your channel. If people haven't checked you out yet, I encourage them to do so. Most of what you put up there is very, well, I shouldn't say most, all of it's very interesting, and quite a bit of it is also very, I don't know, positive. And also, you have good taste in music. There, I'll leave all that out for everybody. We're just waiting for Megan to come back in. And yeah, technical difficulties. But I don't know. How you guys enjoying the show so far? Have you ever listened to a program that integrates restorative farming and spirituality and Ayurvedic medicine and chakras and um, meridians, and just beautifully ties it all together in this beautiful book that she has published that also has many beautiful images, all kinds of things to think about. And then, of course, there is um, her cards. If you like divining cards, she's got a beautiful, beautiful set of cards. And all of the links to all of this and where to get a hold of Megan are also available in the description below. So we'll just give her a few more minutes to log back in. I'm not sure what the problem is, but I'm really hoping she comes back to finish out the show, because the information she has is pretty lovely. And yeah, it's going to be helpful to all of you. So now I don't know what to say, because I guess what I will do while we're waiting for her to come back, I think what I will do is perhaps also just play a very short clip about my books while we're waiting. And then, of course, we will tell you more about her books when she comes back. Learn about the stunning details of ET diversity and culture, along with their advanced ways of living spiritually, which is in no way like anything imagined here on Earth. Transdimensional, Meet the New Neighbors, introduces you to many different looking ET beings, the organic healing pods, the self-assembling interior of the big ship, my ET buddy and the orientation process, cultural events like concerts and the joining of ships, as well as off-world physical and non-physical loving practices. In my contact experience, I learned a great deal about ET origins, transdimensional travel, intergalactic planetary research, and the various options for resettlement. My goal is to introduce you to the look, culture, intention, and technology of beings which are different than humans, in order to reduce your fear and increase your familiarity, so that you will remain more rational and grounded once the ET presence escalates beyond debate. Enjoy reading about my real-life adventures and notice the things we have in common, so you will see that we are essentially many family lines within one species. Paperback and Kindle versions of Transdimensional Meet the New Neighbors is now available on Amazon worldwide. To gift yourself or someone you love, pick up your copies today. Perfect timing. Hi, Megan. Whoop,
Hi.
whoops. Wait a minute. Sorry. You're not showing. Hang on. Add to stage. Well, I wonder what's going on with this thing. Sorry, I'm going to put you on full screen because you weren't appearing before. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. You just got started telling us about the cards. divining cards, and then you froze up completely, and I gave you a few minutes, and then I hope you heard me tell you to log out and come back in again, which you did. And here you are, and thank God, so we can finish hearing about your cards and whatever else you want to tell us. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate
Yeah, I'm
it.
glad it worked out because anyway, here we are. Hooray. Um, yeah, it gave me an opportunity to be like, what do I want to make sure to say? And there was a couple other things that I wanted to articulate. One is that this book talks about the importance of plant medicine, and so much of it is just reinforcing our opportunity to symbiotically partner with Mother Earth, and that she provides us so many resources for our thriving, and reclaiming our ability to know and learn what of her resources, what of her foods, what of her medicines are best for our bodies. But she offers an antidote to every ill that we throw at her. And when
Mm-hmm.
we can come back into alignment with her and symbiotically partner with her, because when we are practicing heart-centered alignment, we are also aligning ourselves with Mother Earth, because both our highest self and Mother Earth are supporting our thriving. That's what their purpose is. And
Mm-hmm.
so just reinforcing that this book gives a nice overview of how to approach plant medicine and how to navigate what medicines could be best for you. And I wanted to also say that this is not like anti-pharmaceutical. This is approaching, it's identifying specific vaccines and specific like agricultural toxins that are undermining our gut microbiome's ability to function. But it's like all things in balance. It's like we're not trying to do away with our system. We're trying to reclaim and celebrate the inherent capabilities of our own body to be well, and how to take care of ourselves, so that hopefully we can use our allopathic system for broken bones and emergencies and these things that, it still offers us gifts, but learning how to still navigate and work within Mother Nature's own resources.
Mm-hmm.
um, so I wanted to make sure to say those things. Thank you. I'm glad I
Yeah,
put
no,
that on.
it's very important. What I also find interesting is the very plants we need to help us heal generally grow all around us. So,
Yes.
all these plants in people's backyards, like dandelions and mullein and um, um, broadleaf ribbed plantain, not the banana kind, but the kind you use for skincare.
Yeah.
And all these other things are what people are poisoning and ripping out and trying to get rid of. And they're such fabulous medicine and they're cheap. I rent, so I can't plant an actual garden, but I have containers. And I've got mullein growing, and I've got grand chamomile growing, which is fantastic for headaches. I've got my plantain growing. And then I harvest it and I dehydrate it under
Mm-hmm.
low temperatures. And
Yeah.
I have all these mason jars full of all these medicines
Like an
that I've
apothecary.
grown. And if I anything I need that I don't have, I can always order tinctures that are organic and wild crafted and anything. Everything is there available and cheap compared to pharmaceuticals. So it just amazes me how abundant and generous this planet is.
Yes.
It blows me away. And everything we need is right here and all around us. But of course, that doesn't generate the big profits that um, the medical industrial complex needs. And also, what's really good for you is not necessarily a petroleum derivative, which is what they're making all the pharmaceuticals about. So again, I'm not trying to persuade people to go away from medical care. Not at all. If you've got a health issue, go and see your doctor, and good luck with that. Maybe he'll help you. You know, all these people are saying, "Oh yeah, I've had all this help from my doctor." Meanwhile, they got their bag of pills and they never get off any of them. They just add more and more and more, and they can't see the insanity of it. Sorry, I guess I'm going a little bit of a soapbox here, but it's true. And I even bought a manual, a medical manual off Amazon, which tells you how to make any kind of medicine for anything out of plants that are all around you. So plant-based medicines are all I use, and they do the trick. And people go, well, what happens when you're in a lot of pain? Well, when I'm in a lot of pain, it's time for me to lay down in a dark room and do some meditation. And, that pain is there for a reason. And then what's one other thing I want to throw in there? I'm sorry, I know I'm taken away from what you probably want to say, but I gotta say, often the suffering is the healing. So,
Mhm.
for instance, if my arm is hurting because I've wrenched a muscle or something in it, that pain is from the inflammation that the body needs to provide so that my arm can heal. So, pain and suffering, we run away from it. We want a pill so we don't feel the pain anymore. We don't want it. God knows we don't want to have any suffering. We'll have none of that. Meanwhile, what if the suffering is the cure? And so, why would I want to interfere with my body's ability to cure itself and heal itself? I know I've rambled on too much here, Megan. I'll turn it back over to you. Please do share whatever else you want to say. And I don't know if you actually were able to finish talking about your divining cards or not, but if you want to, that part got frozen and cut off.
Okay, well, I'm not quite sure where it cut. I was saying that there are 6 distinct sets of 12 cards.
Right, you did say that, and you
Okay.
said something after that.
So there are exercises at the end of the chapters that help lead
Mhm,
someone through because not everyone's comfortable or has used them. So it's helpful to have some guidance on how to best use them for the specific exercises in the book. But then they
mhm,
are also just, you can use them however you most want to if you are versed with using cards or just have starting. And but there, it's a 72 card deck that can be used as a 72 card deck, or you can use it for the specific questions and exercises in the book.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, it's all very, very, very interesting. So I'm assuming your book is available on Amazon, is that right?
It is available on Amazon, and I would encourage
Let me
individuals to
look.
purchase it through the publisher, which is Balboa, because the print quality is superior. It's high gloss
Ah,
and more beautiful and better paperweight. And anything purchased, even unfortunately, if you were to request from your independent bookstore for them to order it on your behalf, they would order it through Ngram, and it is the lower quality book. It is still beautiful. The artwork is
mhm,
still beautiful. It's just not the high gloss, high paperweight that you can get when you order it through Balboa. So I would encourage folks to do that if they are,
okay.
because this is a beautiful book of art as well as pertinent and helpful guidance. So why not have the
Mhm,
full beautiful experience if you can?
mhm. And I just added them to the live chat in case anybody wants to follow those links and be able to order or directly from the publisher. That's awesome.
Right.
So yeah, so that's about it. We're quickly running out of time. Um, Megan, I want to turn it over to you. Just whatever, do you have a message for my viewers and listeners? Is there anything that you want to say in closing? And I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Love to have you back, in excuse me, in future upcoming months. That would be awesome. And I'll just turn it back over to you, and you can just say whatever you want. The
Yeah,
floor is
I'm so
yours.
appreciative of this opportunity to share. And as far as the last message, I want to cheerlead and celebrate. Like, we have so much power as individuals that has yet to be discovered in that, like we were talking about, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. And so, yeah, step out of the stream and learn about yourself. It's like, to thine own self be true. Like, that's the coolest journey to take on for yourself, to support your thriving. And I support you in doing that, and glad to be alongside you as we navigate this chaotic world right now. I think it's an important time to find our lights and shine them bright.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, for those listening on an audio podcast, do you want to tell people again the name of your book, your card deck, that they can find it through the name of your publisher, and also where can people connect with you and find out more about the work you're doing? So, for those on audio, do you want to just tell everybody?
Yeah, thank you. So I've authored the book called The Inner Garden, a self-guided journey to cultivate wellness from within and restore connection with Mother Earth's gifts. And it has an accompanying card deck that goes along with it. And you can best access these resources if you go to my website, which is backyardbeauty.net.
Wonderful. Backyardbeauty.net. Wonderful. So that's about it for the Quantum Guide show today. I want to thank everybody, those that are here in the live chat. I want to thank those that are watching the replay, and I want to thank all of you that are listening on an audio podcast. As you probably all know, I'm part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, and the Quantum Guide Show, Aliens and Angels podcast, and also Unseen Nexus are all available on the Spotify and all the audio platforms as well. This will also be available on Telegram, Odyssey, Rumble, X, and YouTube. So there's no shortage of places to find you. And thank you again, Megan, so much for being part of the show today. It's been absolutely delightful. I think you're right on the money. It's a beautiful book, beautiful cards. My hat's off to you, and I wish you every success and yeah, everything. All good things for you, my friend. All good things.
Likewise,
So
Karen,
with
thank
that,
you.
oh, you're very welcome. So we'll just say bye-bye, everybody, and we'll see you on Sunday for the Aliens and Angels podcast. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me for the Quantum Guide Show. Become the change that you wish to see in the world. Subscribe to my YouTube and other channels at Karen Holton TV. Click the like button, leave me a comment, and share this podcast with your friends. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional: Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available in Amazon bookstores worldwide. Check out my website at www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you will find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton and also the Aliens and Angels podcast on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work. There.